and welcome back, my fairies. I am Matsuorific, and we are back with Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir Season 5, Episode 22. It is here, it is out, and we're going to review it. For those of you who are new to this channel, first of all, welcome. The way we do things around here is I'll talk about what we already know about the anime, or about the episode first, and then go watch it and come back and tell you guys what I think. And in order to avoid copyright, I hope you enjoy this artwork over here on the side. This is for at part 6 of What If Adrian Had a Twin Sister, a fan series that we do here on this channel. And I hope you look forward to finding out why Adriana is wearing this princess dress. Anyways, so we did get a trailer for this episode, and we also have some context for this episode as well. And my cat is walking everywhere, so it's messing with the video. Basically, last episode, Mr. Damocles got fired because he refused to screw over the kids just to cover up the fact that Chloe was messing with everyone along with Lila. She's obviously not going to get expelled because, you know, that's the whole reason why Mr. Damocles got fired in the first place, is because, you know, what he was doing was confirming that Chloe did something worth being expelled over. She broke the law by coercing Sabrina into forging documents and signing other people's names for them. That is the law here, and it seems to be a law in France as well. So yeah, a lot of criminal activity by Chloe and Lila in the last episode. And now Mrs. Mandaleev is going to be taking over for Mr. Damocles as principal. Which is something that I theorized when doing the review of the trailer. So I'm kind of glad that that wound up, that I wound up predicting that accurately. I mean, they did make it kind of obvious, so there is also that. But, yeah, so, Leo, please lay down. I love you, but lay down. Lay down so that the camera can see me. So, yeah, we do know that Miss Bustier is going to get akumatized this episode. And we also know that that Chloe is going to be doing something with some security robots. And that Ladybug and Cat Noir are going to be, like, trying to stop whatever's going on. They're either trying to stop Chloe from doing whatever it is that she's doing, or they're just there to help with some demonstration, but I can't see why they would want to help Chloe with anything. But, anyways, or even why Chloe would be willing to work with them in doing anything. But, yeah, that's pretty much all we know about this episode. Hopefully it'll be better than the last episode. If you want to know why I say that, feel free to check out my review of the last episode, because I did not like it. It is easily my least favorite episode of Season 5, but it's also plot heavy, so I can't even skip it on rewatches. Anyways, I'm gonna go watch this episode and pray that the writing is much tighter and better thought out like the rest of Season 5 has been so far. Last episode being the fluke. And I will be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna have some trubbish to call at the end of this review, but that's at the end of the episode, so we'll get to that when we get to that. So, the episode starts off with Natalie going through the videos that Emily left behind once again, asking Natalie to take care of Adrian and to protect his future and his happiness. And his right to choose what makes him happy. And then Gabriel also overhears that too, but it doesn't change his mind at all. And then we get this really cute scene of Marinette and Adrian calling each other as soon as they get up and still talking to each other as they're getting ready for the day, even as they're brushing their teeth. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's too cute. Like, It's a little ridiculous and over the top, but it's also really adorable. Like, stop before I get diabetes. My gosh, it was too cute. Like, even them brushing their teeth and trying to talk, but they can't really make out anything coherent because their mouths are completely full of toothpaste and their toothbrushes. Like, and then they start, they're still talking as they're, finishing getting ready for the day and everything. Marinette goes downstairs, like, they're eating breakfast, and Adrian sees that she's about to drop her bowl, and he's like warns her, he's like, hey, look out, and she's able to catch it. It's like, oh, thanks, Adrian. And then we also see her going downstairs and talking to her parents, and they're like, here's breakfast, here's some stuff for you, Marinette, and also some chouquettes for Adrian. It's like, oh, that's adorable. And then he goes into the kitchen at his house. Gabriel's cooking, Natalie's there too, and Gabriel brings up the fact that Adrian is being sent off to London at the end of the school year in just a few days, apparently. And he still hasn't told Marinette yet, but and Gabriel is like, oh, well, you probably should, because it's just a few days away. And Natalie lays into him, is like, you're not protecting his happiness. If you really cared about Adrian's happiness, you would listen to what he wants. He's like, oh, I'm his father, I know what's best for him. And then Adrian completely destroys his father here. He's like, you should have listened to Marinette's advice, father, because your pancakes are as gross as ever. It's like, oh, I love it. Adrian finally let his father have it. r/destroyed by words. Yes. Of course, Adrian is still kind of sad afterwards, and he decides to walk to school, and he talks to Plagg along the way. And he's starting to consider telling Marinette, because they doesn't have much time left. But then he sees Marinette, and they start doing cutesy, lovey-dovey couple stuff, and like, she hands him the chouquettes, and they keep like getting super close to kissing, but then they back up, they giggle, they do it again, wash, rinse, repeat a couple times, and then it turns out the entire class is watching them. And I'm sorry, Rose, but I have to call you out on this. Rose walks over to them and is like, that's it, enough is enough, just kiss already, just do it. If you're gonna do it, then do it. And it's like, Rose, honey, I understand that you are being the stand-in for the audience right now. Your frustration is our frustration, but this is not your call to make. That is their decision. When they decide they're ready to kiss, they will kiss. This has nothing to do with you. I know that you're trying to support your friends, but this is not your call to make. Let them go at their own pace. They are happy right now. They are fine with where things are at. Let them progress as they are comfortable progressing. It is not your place to tell them when they should and shouldn't kiss. I'm sorry, I know you're trying to be supportive, but that is very inappropriate. That is not how that works. You don't get to make that decision. Only Marinette and Adrian get to make that decision. I'm sorry, but that bothers me every time that their friends try to force them into pushing their relationship further than it already is. Every advancement that they make, aside from one instance, was always them making their own advancements. The only instance where their friends have been able to contribute to advancing their relationship was when Zoe told Marinette that she can go confess to Adrian, but that was Zoe showing Marinette that, her fears of everything going to hell in a handbasket were, she was using the evidence of Chloe confessing to Marinette and the world still turning as proof that Marinette can tell Adrian and the world will still turn. She was giving her encouragement, but not trying to force Marinette into doing something she wasn't ready to do. Every time their friends try to force them to kiss, that is not how you handle the situation. Let them do things on their own. You can encourage them and provide support to them, but if you step in and tell them, hey, no, you two need to kiss right now, that's not helping. Sorry. Just, oh, that really bothers me. Like, they're kids and everything, and it's cute, and they're obviously standing in for the audience, but, it's still, like, this is not your call to make. So, we then get into the classroom, and sure enough, we see Sabrina walk right past Chloe, sticks her nose up at her, and goes to sit down with Nathaniel, who is sitting in Ivan's old spot, and we see that Ivan is now sitting with Milen. And then Marinette and Adrian walk in, and Chloe is, still being rude to everyone. Marinette's like, listen, in case you didn't notice, Lila's already out of here. We're not going to let you continue to get away with this stuff. And that's when Marinette puts a giant target on her back. So Miss Bustier walks in, and she starts a lecture. And then Chloe decides to start playing music and talking over Miss Bustier. And everybody's trying to get her to sit down, turn the music off because they want to listen to the lecture. And Chloe's like, oh, well, we're allowed to listen to music now. She calls Miss Mandaleev and it's like, it's a new school rule that we can play music in class, right? It's like, what? But Miss Mandaleev doesn't want the same thing to happen to her as what happened to Andre. So she's like, she has to give in to Chloe and calls Miss Bustier to her office. And I forgot to mention this in my recap before, but we did also see in the trailer Chloe massaging her cheek. And it turns out I was right. She is accusing Marinette of having slapped her. And she's just rubbing her cheek to make her cheek red so that it looks like there's a physical evidence of her being slapped. But the entire class just bursts into defending Marinette. It's like, no, Chloe's lying. Marinette didn't touch her. She was trying to keep Ivan from hitting her. And, so Chloe, Miss Bustier, and Marinette go to the principal's office, and Marinette's parents are called. And Miss Mandaleev is getting ready to expel Marinette. And this entire time, Lila is talking to Chloe through her earpiece and just telling her everything she needs to say. And she manages to convince Miss Mandaleev to fire Miss Bustier and to expel Marinette. And then we saw this in the trailer. Lila has this giant map with pictures of, Ladybug and Cat Noir, Marinette, Gabriel, Monarch, and also Miss Bustier on it. And she drops the pictures of Marinette and Miss Bustier, basically implying that they're no longer an issue that they need to worry about. And then Monarch senses Miss Bustier's depression, being fired and everything and not being able to get through to Chloe, and tries to akumatize her, but she is able to reject the Akuma. Not with the magical charm that they set up last episode, but instead she just, meditates and calms herself down and repels the Akuma like we've seen before. I'm still not sure where they're going with the magical charm. We've only got a few episodes left this season, and they introduced it. They haven't used it, so yeah, if they don't use it, then I'm just gonna be like, well, what was the point of even introducing that to begin with? But anyways, Miss Bustier is able to prevent herself from getting akumatized, and then we go outside of the school and we get to meet her partner. Now, I'm calling her partner because while her partner does, I'm going to be using they, them pronouns until we can get confirmation for their actual gender identity, because based on their design, they honestly kind of look like they might be trans, because they've got much broader shoulders and, their legs are much thicker, but their arms are still pretty thin, so like, they do have a bit more of a masculine build to them, but they've also got a feminine chest, so they might be trans female, but they could also be they, them. So either they are a cis female and Miss Bustier got an in vitro fertilization, so the child is not her partner's, but she's still pregnant artificially. Or her partner could be trans male to female or non-binary female presenting and then have gotten Miss Bustier pregnant. So I'm just gonna use they, them because it's hard to tell. But regardless, it is nice to see more LGBTQ plus representation in the show. But the fact that they do have this character who is either trans or non-binary and presenting as female, walking up to Miss Bustier and kissing her on the lips, it's like, okay, you can give Miss Bustier a non-cis male partner, but you can't confirm that Rose and Julica are in a relationship. You can have Zoe confess to Marinette that she's in love with Marinette and have an entire episode focused on that, but you can't confirm that Rose and Julica are together. You're still gonna allude to them being best friends. I'm sorry, that is absolute rubbish. If they could give Miss Bustier a trans non-binary, a trans femme partner or non-binary female presenting partner, and they can have Zoe confess to Marinette, who is another girl, they can have a canon lesbian relationship in like full cis lesbian. Like, I'm sorry. This is just turning into a lot of rants about things that are handled poorly in the show altogether. That's not necessarily this episode's fault, but this stuff does bother me, though. So the rest of the class is sad that Miss Bustier is getting fired, and Chloe calls Andre, who's trying to, go off to have a meeting with Gabriel and Tomoe. And, because he's, late for this meeting, he basically just tells Chloe that he'll think about her demands, because she wants Marinette to be thrown in jail. Well, it wasn't clear if she would want Marinette to be thrown in jail or Miss Bustier, but, she was saying throw them in jail. And he's just like, listen, we'll talk about this later, okay? Probably because he knows he can't have an innocent person arrested. But, then Andre goes to have a meeting with Gabriel and Tomoe, and they want to instate these security drones that are basically going to replace the police. Not sure what their plan is with these drones, but they're basically trying to replace the police, and Andre is, really not having it. He's trying to be diplomatic and make them understand why he can't replace the police with drones, because he would put all these people out of jobs. And that's when Gabriel and Tomoe start to notice that he's, he might not be as strong of an ally for them as they thought. It doesn't seem like he knows that Gabriel is Monarch. But then Chloe storms in and starts demanding that Andre do, how dare he hang up on her, and he needs to do this right now. Actually, no, I think they did confirm in this scene that it was Marinette that she wanted thrown in jail. It's like, Marinette is a minor. You cannot throw a minor in jail. Even if Marinette had slapped Chloe, the worst would be juvenile detention or something like that. It's yes, it is considered assault and you can sue for assault, but you also need to be able to prove that said assault happened. And I don't know if it's the same in France, but that's how it works here. And yeah, my unfamiliarity with French politics will really come in handy at the end of the episode. But Lila is still speaking through Chloe, and she tells Chloe to turn her camera on her ring, which allows her to see Gabriel's expression change every time Chloe talks about how if she was the mayor, she'd ban superheroes and none of this stuff would be happening, which gives Gabriel the idea of, hey, maybe I could try to replace the mayor that was voted in with a 14-year-old child. At first I was thinking maybe Gabriel was going to try to run for mayor or something, be like, okay, I'm going to run for mayor and, make changes to the city that suit my needs as monarch. But instead, apparently his plan is to make Chloe the mayor. It's like, okay. But Andre just sort of, walks off because he's like, we're not going to replace the police with these drones. So he walks off. And we do get a short scene of Marinette and the others at Juleka and Luca's. Luca's not in the scene, but Juleka is. Oh, that's right. Luca wouldn't be there because he's out of town. But anyways, they're at Juleka's and they're talking about, how unfair it is that Marinette's been expelled and that Miss Boustier's been fired. It's only a couple days before the end of the school year and prom and everything. And Marinette's just, trying to keep everyone calm, like, we'll find a solution. And, poor Adrian, he wants to tell Marinette. And he does actually try later, but he gets interrupted by the Akuma alert, which we'll get it to. But then we cut back to Gabriel and Andre. And Andre is feeling dejected. He misses when he wasn't the mayor. He misses when he was an aspiring film director. And Gabriel, made costumes for his movie, and he made Andre's first suit, which gave him the confidence to even attempt to go into politics. He said something about a dad? Excuse me. It was hard to say with the subtitles. Excuse me. Got the dry throat. But it's hard to tell with the subtitles if he was talking about, like, if his dad wanted him to get into politics, which makes sense because there was a scene from before that made him, so I'm pretty sure he did say that his family pressured him into politics. He only, and also so that he could impress Audrey. But then he's like, but what has it gotten me? A woman, a wife who doesn't respect me, and, I've been lying, I've cheated, I've abused my power. It's like, what's next? I've done so many awful things as mayor. What's next? Replacing if we replace the police with drones, what's next? Replace the teachers with drones? And he's saying all this hypothetically, but Gabriel is recording this entire thing, which he then edits later to make it sound like Andre is just simply confessing to having lied and cheated and abusing his power, and then he makes it seem like Andre actually plans to replace the police and teachers with robots, and to turn the school into a prison. And Andre is even trying to compare that to Gabriel, and he's like, you used to design clothes that made people happy, which actually plays into what Marinette said before about how fashion, when you make clothes, when you're a fashion designer, you're making clothes that allow people to express who they really are. And Gabriel used to be like that, according to Andre. But now, instead of making clothes that make people happy, now he's instead designing police robots and these rings. And it's like, that's not what Gabriel originally set out to do when he became a designer. And Andre finishes with telling him that, you could tell Miss Tsurugi, no, I won't be doing this. City Hall is no longer for sale. And that's when Gabriel takes the recording, goes home, edits it, and then he doesn't send it out to a massive group of people like I initially thought he was gonna do, but instead he only sends it to Miss Bustier, who then finally allows herself to get akumatized because Monarch is able to convince her that this is the only way. And then afterwards he detransforms so he can call Chloe. Now, Miss Bustier, I don't remember what her akumatized name is, so I'm just gonna keep calling her Miss Bustier, but she gets the power of jubilation, and she interrupts a live TV broadcast with Nadia and Mr. Banana to play the video file of Andre saying all this stuff. and she turns everybody into balloons so that they'll join her revolution. And it's using the power of jubilation. Somehow that works. I guess it's just part of her power given to her by the butterfly, but regardless, the Akuma alert goes out and it interrupts Adrian, who is just about to tell Marinette that his father is sending him off after school is out. So he manages to come up with a lie of, my father said that, my father really wants me to hurry home if there's an Akuma alert, so I gotta get going. Just so he could run off to go transform to Cat Noir, which also gives Marinette the opportunity to go change into Ladybug. But then Gabriel calls Chloe up and tells her that he was very impressed with her eloquence earlier, standing up to Andre, and is like, I actually have a gift for you. And at first Chloe is like, well, I don't need whatever gift you're gonna give me, because I can get whatever I want because my dad's the mayor. And then Lila tells her, well, your dad might not be mayor much longer. You might want to actually listen to what he says, because if your dad's no longer the mayor, then nothing's going to be able to stop the people you've hurt from coming after you. We do also get a better look at the board she has behind her, too. We could see a picture of Queen Bee. We see Reina Rouge, Audrey, and we also see the picture from the Adrian's ad, the perfume. And also we see a picture of Natalie and Adrian's bodyguard, and also Gabriel too. So there's a lot of different people on her board behind her. It's not just Marinette and the heroes and villains. But anyways, so I wish we could get a better look at the board so we could figure out what exactly it is she's planning. But she tells Chloe to, listen to what Gabriel has to say. So Chloe does listen, and she goes along with Gabriel's plan. Meanwhile, Miss Bustier is, still turning people into balloons, and Ladybug and Cat Noir come along and is like, hey, listen, this isn't the right way to do this. If you have an issue, vote in the elections and, make your voice heard. And they managed to convince her to at least try to talk to Andre. Ladybug gets a lucky charm that is a crown, but she's not sure what to do with it. But they are able to talk Miss Bustier down, and then she goes and talks to Andre, who, but before then, we also get Zoe coming in, standing up for Andre, and is like, listen, he may have made a lot of mistakes, but he's also a good person deep down, trying to, protect Andre. And Ladybug is like, if this girl is willing to stand up for him, then, maybe talking to him will work. So she talks to Andre, and right beforehand, we see Andre actually left Gabriel a voicemail. He's like, I thought we were friends, but I guess not. So basically, cuts Gabriel out of his life. The last thing he says is, I feel sorry for you. And it's like, yes, thank you. We love hearing people tear down Gabriel around here. First Marinette, then Adrian, now Andre. Yes. So Miss Bustier, Ladybug, and Cat Noir walk into the office, and they're like, you need to be held accountable and step down for them as the mayor of Paris. And he's like, you know what? You're right. I do need to step down. So with my power, I reinstate you as a teacher, and I am stepping down as mayor. I fire myself. So I'm going to leave with my daughter Zoe, and goodbye. And that allows Miss Bustier to reject the Akuma, and then her partner comes back in, and they hug, they kiss, it's super sweet. And then Ladybug is trying to figure out what exactly the crown is for, because it's always been something that was needed to help in defeating the villain, which there has been one other time when she received a lucky charm. Actually, no, there's 2 times, technically, where she received a lucky charm, but it wasn't to be used to defeat the villain. The first time was with the miracle box. Oh no, not the miracle box. It was the mirror that she received in the episode Optigami, which allowed her to see behind her, to notice Ollie and Nino doing their hand thing, and she realized that Nino just giving Ollie a high five and not doing their cute little hand thing established earlier in the episode meant that it wasn't Nino. And the other time was when she got literally no lucky charm at all, which told her to just trust in Felix. But she's trying to figure out, why she got this crown if it wasn't going to help them to stop Miss Bustier. And Cat Noir was like, well, you can still use it to repair the damage. So she uses the lucky charm and to fix everything, and that's when Chloe barges in. And Ladybug realizes, shoot, I needed the crown for this moment. And so Chloe comes in with the laptop that controls the security drones and a whole group of news reporters behind her. She shows them off, and then she twists things around to say that Ladybug and Cat Noir helped the villain to force her father to step down, and that they have no right to use their powers that way, and therefore she should be in charge now while her father is out of the picture, and she is outlawing Ladybug and Cat Noir. And, they try to be like, who's gonna defend you, without us around? And she's like, well, these things are going to defend us. So she uses the drones to drive them out of the office, and they actually can't get past the drones, so they have to leave. Which we did see them jumping out of the window in the trailer, but honestly, I thought that was just them running away from Miss Bustier's power, but it turned out to be from Chloe's security drones. And then we get a news broadcast with Chloe saying that she's the new mayor of Paris, and that Ladybug and Cat Noir and Monarch are all banned, that they're all illegal now. And Lila convinces her to, quote, return the power to the people, which I'm assuming is just to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use my powers for good. Haha, totally, not really. But, this is the thing that I had an issue with at the beginning. How does this work? Chloe is 14 years old. I don't know about how mayoral elections work in Paris, but here in America, you have to be voted in, and you have to be of legal age. You have to be an adult. Chloe is not an adult. She is 14 years old. She is a child. She legally should not be able to do any of this. It's obvious that Gabriel is manipulating her, and so is Lila, but this is so hard to suspend my disbelief on. Yes, it's a show, and you do kind of have to suspend your disbelief for a bit, but it's like, how does this work? How? This should not work. It's so stupid. Who is gonna take her seriously? Oh my gosh, this is so stupid. I cannot. Season 5 was so good up until episode 20, and now it's like, why is everybody being so freaking stupid? Why is it so stupid? Why? Oh my gosh, I hate this. I really do. Everything up until the end of the episode was great. But it's like, how does this work? This shouldn't work. She's 14 years old. This shouldn't work. I could see if Tomoe were to have stepped in with the plan, be like, oh yeah, let's make Tomoe the mayor of Paris, but no, it's like, why? Why is this working? No. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I can't. I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video here for now. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos from me. We do all sorts of fun stuff on this channel, including playing video games, we do art, and also sometimes talk about cartoons and anime. So if you enjoy this stuff, then be sure to ring that bell icon in this video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I hope you all have a very magical day. So stupid.